Okay, here we go into tree pose. Today's segment is going to be to help you find different ways of understanding tree pose. So the first way we're going to try it is actually on our mats. I call this one the fallen tree. And what I'd like you to do is lie down on your mat as if you were going to go into Shavasana, but not with the intention of being restful at this point. We're going to be a little more active. And I want you to think that you're actually standing, but you've fallen down. And then take your tree and hands to the heart. Okay, and just kind of notice how that feels. So a couple of things I'd like you to think about is to keep your shoulders, your rib cage, and your hips level and parallel to the floor and to the ceiling. So try not to let yourself twist over to one side. So if I've got my right leg up, I want to keep my left buttock and my left hip firmly grounded as well as my right. So, and same thing with the shoulders. You want both shoulder blades to feel very placed down into the mat. So how do we do that? The standing leg is actually in a neutral position for the hip. Okay, there's no external or internal rotation, but the lifted leg is in external rotation. So what we're doing is we are coming into hip and knee flexion. We are externally rotating from the hip, and we are taking the knee out to the side. You'll notice that my knee, the back of my leg and my knee are not touching the floor. There's quite a gap there because I'm in my natural and strong external rotation rather than letting it twist and open like this. So go ahead, try that on the other side. And just notice how that feels. Now, imagine you're actually standing up. So don't let this standing leg go lax and loose, but press down into the bottom of the heel and into the whole foot, the toes, the ball of the foot, everything, so that you feel very strongly engaged throughout the whole leg. And think of being very tall here. Activate your core as you normally would, because you'll need that. And just notice how that feels. All right. So from here, we're going to stand up, and we're actually going to use a wall. So again, remember, the standing leg is in neutral. The lifted leg is in external rotation. So what I'd like you to try right now, we're going to go to a wall in a moment, is just to open from the hip and see where that goes. So you see, for me, it's not that far. If you're a ballerina, you might be able to stand really wide like this, but what I'm doing here is twisting from the ankle and twisting from the knee. So you want to have this like this. Okay, so you're going to go against the wall and stand with your hand at your elbow, with your elbow bent, with your hand at your waist, and touch the wall next to you. That's about the distance that you will be. Then externally rotate this leg here, so the leg closest to the wall. Come into hip and knee flexion into where your outside point of your knee is going to touch with the wall. And here you go. My hips, my shoulders, everything is level. Nothing is twisting or rotating or pushing backwards or forwards. Everything's just neutral. And then go ahead and try the other side. Okay, so again, hand to the waist, elbow bent, connecting to the wall. Externally rotate the leg closest to the wall. Lift by bending. Connect with the wall for support. Here you go. All right, so try that for a few breaths and maybe even a minute or two. And then from there, come back to the center of your mat. And let's just see how your tree pose feels now. Once I've established that basic posture, it just feels so much stronger and more stable here. My body is in alignment. And then from there, we can move the arms in all kinds of directions, doing all kinds of movements because we are strong and stable. And that wraps up growing your tree. Namaste.